brand new episode of the podcast entitled Couch Potatoes Unite! Which is based on a blog of the same name. I used to tell a joke here, but it's a new year, so new rules. If you missed the joke, let us know, but I don't want to write anymore. My name is Kylie, and I love TV. If you feel the same, keep listening and or checking out our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, as you're bound to find some common ground or something you like. For at Couch Potatoes Unite, we're all about the wonders and unique long-form storytelling of the small screen. CPU, ! Hopes you've been following releases of brand new episodes of the podcast on Wednesdays, as well as new blog entries on some Tuesdays, and as always, we have several more new episodes on the way. Because the panelists and I live lives behind our podcast, the episodes are published once per week. Subscribe to the blog or podcast via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play to stay on top of brand new episodes. Episodes already published discuss a variety of shows around the water cooler, including but not limited to How to Get Away with Murder, Sherlock, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., New Girl, A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Vampire Diaries, The Originals, Orange is the New Black, and The X-Files. Plus, new episodes are in the works, including revisits for Once Upon a Time, Supernatural, Gotham, Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, American Horror Story, Fuller House, and the Marvel's Defenders panel will review the first season of The Punisher. A final visit with our Broadchurch panel to say goodbye to the mystery drama from across the pond. We'll be launching new panels covering Sense8, Grace and Frankie, The Good Place, and I, Zombie. And because we look back at shows now past, we'll be looking back at one of our most popularly requested panels of all time, Friends. What's more, CPU also goes live. We've been live from the Bunker, comedy outlet Mondays at Dog Story Theater and Grand Rapids Comic Con, and we're planning more live appearances and other cool stuff. So make sure you like us at our Facebook page, our Twitter, follow us at CPU Podcast, our Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite, and or our Pinterest at CPU Podcast, or subscribe to the blog, our YouTube channel, our iTunes channel, our Stitcher Radio channel, or find us on Google Play. In the meantime, if you don't hear your show in this podcast format, fellow panelists and I still write reviews, and we always seek new panelists. So if you have any interest in joining the discussion, say hello by finding us at any of those outlets I've mentioned. At the very least, stop by and leave us a thumbs up, comment, or review. We like feedback. Just don't assault us from a parallel universe. Just talk to us. We're good. We'll chill. We'll rap. Today, our Dctu panel is back around the water cooler for a special bonus episode in which we are going to chat about Crisis on Earth X, the mega crossover 4-episode TV movie event in which the cast of Arrow, The Flash, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl combine to form a spicy sauce of heroic proportions. Today, your friendly neighborhood Dctu panel, Wrong Universe, namely Kyle, Hilary, Spencer, Kristen, and Nick, are here to discuss that crossover, which began on November 27, 2017 with Supergirl and Arrow, and concluded on November 28 with The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow on the CW. In Crisis on Earth X, the friends of Barry Allen, played by Grant Gustin, and Iris West, played by Candace Patton, come to Central City for their wedding, only to be interrupted when villains from Earth X disrupt the proceedings. Earth X is a parallel world where a Nazi regime rules the planet, and an archer known as Dark Arrow is the Führer. It is up to teams Arrow, Flash, Legends, and Supergirl to join forces to defeat the onslaught, though, of course, the battle is fraught with complications. Today, in our 12th episode of our Dctu series, our Dctu panel returns to talk specifically about Crisis on Earth X, as all 5 panelists proved particularly Twitter-baited to chat about this latest network crossover event, and separately from the main season discussions, I might add. As always, it should be noted that every single one of our panelists has viewed all 4 Arrowverse shows to date, which is important because it spills over, and will likely discuss sensitive plot points. So, for those of you who are not caught up on Arrow, Flash, Legends, or Supergirl, listen at your own risk, as there may be major spoilers. Welcome back, panel. How are you?
Good.
What was that word?
Twitter-pated.
Twitter-pated. Okay.
It's a word, I promise.
Oh, I don't doubt you.
It's when you rapidly tweet.
No.
We all just cocked our heads and looked at you strangely as you said it.
It means you're super excited. You cannot wait. False. In our last episode, they were trying to talk about it before they were supposed to talk about it now. So this is how we're going to do this. Because we're just talking about 4 episodes of TV, they really wanted to talk about it separately because it was jam-packed and mega referencey awesomeness, coolness, quotations, Easter eggs, everything. So we don't have the standard stuff. We're going to reintroduce you by your first name, just your first name, and then you're going to rate this Crisis on Earth X crossover event with the following rating scale, which is very close to the normal rating scale we normally use, only shorter. So how would you rate your reaction to Crisis on Earth X? Do you think it is 5 stars? Holy smokes, this is the best crossover ever! Multiple exclamation points. Is it 4 stars? The crossover was intriguing. Please make more, CW or Arrowverse producers. You get better each time, though you're not perfect yet. Is it 3 stars? It was fine, okay, nothing special. There were parts I liked and parts I didn't. Allow me to explain. Is it 2 stars? Meh, I was bored. Nice idea, but the execution left something to be desired. Or was it 1 star? Not your best, Arrowverse. Stop trying. Just don't make any more. Go.
Question.
Yes.
When you say best crossover ever, do you mean
just the
in
DCTU
TV or in TV
all
history?
You can justify that however you want.
It's not as good as Trials and Tribulations, but...
Are you answering, Kyle? Would you like to go first?
My name's Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
And I would actually give it a 5. To me, this was like everything the Justice League movie wasn't. The character interactions were so spot on, perfect. Everyone played off each other. Everyone got good moments. Like, nothing felt forced. And they actually utilized all parts of it versus last when, you know, the Supergirl was kind of a joke. But just everything about it worked for me. And, like, as a comic book fan, it was everything I wanted to see.
Welcome back, Kyle.
I'm Spencer.
Hi, Spencer.
If you could just edit what Kyle just said in right behind my name, we'd be good.
Or you could just say ditto.
Yeah, ditto, really.
Okay.
It hit every element. I saw Justice League. It was better than Justice League. It did. It sewed all the elements together. It gave good time to all the characters, at least the main ones. It was phenomenal. I think I straight away said to you, this needs to be a standalone podcast.
Yes, this was Spencer's idea. Truth.
That means he's serious.
He's serious.
It was just so good. It was 4 hours, and it felt like 38 minutes, because it was just go from the beginning right through to the end. And I loved every second of it.
Welcome back, Spencer.
Thank you.
I'm Kristen.
Hi, Kristen.
I'm going to give it a 4.
Whoa.
Because I didn't
She must
love...
be slapped.
No,
Killer
because I
Frost.
didn't love every second of it. I hated the ending. It was so good until the end. And
Is it because Monel wasn't in it?
It loses a whole point for the ending?
it loses a whole point for, spoiler, Oliver and Felicity piggybacking on Barry and Iris's wedding.
Double rushed wedding in a puke field? I can see that.
A puke field.
Yeah, because John gets brought there by the Flash,
And he
and he
moves.
throws up
Yeah.
and says, you know, you got to warn a guy when you're going to do that.
Yeah. I liked that it ended with Barry and Iris's wedding, but I hated that Oliver and Felicity just
like
decided to.
Well, yeah.
It was stupid.
Well,
Otherwise, it was great.
Welcome back, Kristen.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Hilary.
Hi, Hilary.
How's it going?
All right.
So, the moderator's my sister, and Kyle already talked, and he's my hubby. I feel like everyone should know this.
Hashtag Hilary disclaimer.
Yes. So, I'm going to say, like, 4.75.
Not high enough.
Actually, because of what Kristen said, but not as, like...
Harsh.
So, yeah, passionate about it. Because, like, Barry and Iris kind of had me tearing up a little bit, and that whole ending... I mean, I get why they did it, but other than that, for it was the crossover we wanted it to be in the other crossover. It was amazing, everything about it, especially for TV. I mean, that was some pretty high-quality storytelling, action, all of it. So it was amazing. Other than, yes, the little bit of forced ending, it was amazing. I can't wait to watch it again, actually. It's been a while.
Welcome back, Hilary.
Nick here, I would say
Hi,
5.
Nick here.
Ha.
First names only, Nick. Come on.
And it's funny because it's totally a joke you would say.
True. Isn't that interesting?
Nope.
So you would say 5.
Yep.
Because...
It fixed all the problems with the other crossover. It utilized the actual 4-episode event. It didn't feel like it was so separate from the storylines. Obviously, it was of the rest of the season for each 4 shows, where I feel like they kind of like ignored whatever. Let's throw Speedy in here because we don't know what her storyline is. I feel like all the characters, everything made sense, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
My name is Kylie. Of course, I moderate and participate. I would rate it 5 stars. While I do agree that Oliver and Felicity piggybacking on Barry and Iris's wedding is a dick move, even though I love him, And her. I love them both. Really, I'm totally with Iris. Not that I'm bitter or anything. That's what she says in the next episode. Really, they should have had their own wedding, and come on now. But seriously, though, everything that everybody has already stated as far as how great it was, I also feel I have not seen Justice League because I can't bring myself to want to watch it because people have been like, Justice League is not that good.
You're not missing anything.
I know, but these
moments.
Yeah,
I
I was
know.
gonna say, it has a really amazing
Well, it does
moment.
have. I was gonna say she will
You'll enjoy parts of it.
Yeah.
The Superman.
It just, you're more invested in this version of these superheroes.
I am
Yeah.
very invested, and I do agree that the 4 action-packed hours fixed all the previous crossover problems, had a great story, brought in a lot of DC references and Easter eggs, brought in a lot of extra references and Easter eggs, found a way to use the best parts of every character on the shows that they brought in with the characters that they brought in. And I would actually watch it as a standalone. Even though there is continuation of the story, I would watch it as a standalone.
You really don't have to watch it with
No.
the other
You don't
episodes.
have
No.
to.
And all I
No.
was saying is it feels like the writers knew
They
enough
s-
about
yeah.
what they were doing
Yeah.
They
of
still
the...
added it in well, and it still had that balance, but
And
you
such
don't.
fantastic doppelgangers.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
You
Sequence.
don't.
And the CW, well, never mind, they did this for other things. Even the Gorilla City. It's its own thing on the CW app, Crisis on Earth.
Yeah, it's its own little miniseries.
It is. And so I highly recommend watching it if you haven't already, and you don't have to be invested in Arrow, Flash, Legends, or Supergirl. You can look at it, or all of them, you can look at it as just a movie kind of event, because that's really what it is. It's a 4-hour movie, and you can't get better than that for me. So 5 stars, holy smokes. I was totally enamored from it. So let's talk about it, because this was Spencer's request. We have our major plot points. Obviously, Earth X is this sort of unspeakable 53rd Earth. There are 52, just like the new 52. But this Earth that nobody talks about, where the Nazis won the war, and Oliver somehow becomes the Hitler figure in this particular Earth, and marries Kara, which when that is shared with Kara on our Earth, she says, ew, gross!
She says, ew, gross, and then, sorry.
No offense.
And he's just like, no, I'm telling you.
She's the only woman of heterosexual orientation that does not fall for Oliver Queen.
I mean, I don't know. He's pretty moody, so.
He can be. But anyway, so what did you like? What didn't you like? Just talk about it. This is your moment to wax wonderfully on the Crisis on Earth X.
There was one thing I didn't like. It actually took a while to realise that Oliver was the Führer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't come
And
right
they
out
kept
and say
referring
They
to
kept
the
talking about the
Führer.
Führer, and then I keep.
And I was like, well, okay, so who's the Dark
Yeah,
Overlord of all of this? And
yeah.
then it was like revealed that it was Oliver. I was like, wait, did I miss something?
Yeah.
No, I connected on that very early. I
It was-
realized that's who they were talking about.
It was probably halfway through the second episode where I was like, oh, okay, so Oliver is the big cheese.
Well, because he initially, I feel like they say Heil to him when he first appears in the very first scene, and he gets into the fight with Guardian.
But they say Heil to each other. All of them say Heil to each other all the time, just like regular Nazi Germany.
Heil this, heil that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I just made the connection. That didn't twist for me.
It
so.
didn't bother me greatly. It was
Yeah.
just a minor.
It was a weird, just a little
Yeah.
weird thing.
It didn't quite. At first, I thought that there was somebody over the top of all of them, and I thought it was going to be maybe revealed to be Damien Dark or something. And then it turned out it was Ollie. I was like, oh, okay, that's better sense than where I thought it was going.
And he's called Dark Arrow.
Yeah.
And he's married to Overgirl, which I guess is like Supergirl meets Overwatch.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And I was okay
Yeah.
with all of their doppelgangers. I thought were fantastic. I liked the way that they gave them the masks so they could actually have proper fight
I loved
sequences.
their evil costumes.
Their evil costumes were great, but it allowed them to film fight sequences
Yeah.
properly. You could have any stunt double that looked physically the same be on screen at the same time. It saved them probably millions of dollars in filming
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I agree.
I would have liked more of a line or something about why certain characters weren't at the wedding. Because everyone was there, it was very obvious.
I didn't understand why Ray
especially-
wasn't there. For
Yeah, that was the
example.
main one. Like,
Yeah.
something, the Legends could have had something going on that one
They
line
invited
could have
Nick,
helped.
but not.
Yeah,
Ray.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because Nick was
Sarah.
there.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sarah wasn't really Barry and Iris's friend. Sarah
No,
was
not at
Oliver's
all.
ex. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
And technically, shouldn't she have died when Barry was in his coma? So,
What?
like, did Barry ever meet Sarah?
Oh.
Yes,
in
like
the last crossover, wasn't she?
Yeah, no, yeah, she was in the
Oh.
last crossover. I mean, is that really enough to invite her to your wedding?
No.
that's what she. Yeah,
I didn't understand. That's what you were going for.
They probably just sent one invitation to the wave rider.
Yeah.
And that's
You're all
that's who
invited.
showed up.
You're each other's plus ones.
Nick's like, is there free alcohol? They're like, yes. He's like, okay, I'm in.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Well, at least with Nick, I mean,
He's from the flat.
he's from the Flash, so
Yeah.
that made sense for me.
I mean, and his scenes with Caitlin were hilarious.
Yeah.
I think he has a
That
total
was
crush on
Oh,
her.
absolutely.
Killer Frost,
Killer
not
Frost.
Caitlin.
Yeah.
Didn't I kidnap you once?
that was
so good.
There's so many funny lines throughout this entire 4 hours.
I made lists of just the ones I liked, but you can list ones that you have.
There's one moment where Cisco, they're all under fire, and he makes the reference about, I love a pop culture reference under pressure.
Oh, yes. Dinus calls Metallo the Terminator. And he
Yes.
says, I love a pop culture reference when we're in a crisis. That's what he says.
That was just another one of those priceless moments. And then when Iris is crawling through the ducts and she makes the Die Hard reference.
I enjoyed when Cisco is flying the Wave Rider and he says, it's like Star Raiders on Atari, only real.
Cisco does have the best, and I was a little disappointed he wasn't in this more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a lot of characters to
It's
service.
a lot of characters.
So
And
they did a good job with the number of characters.
besides, we got the whole joke of them being imprisoned in the
Yeah, in
Star
Star Labs.
Labs, whatever you call that place, the particle accelerator.
Right.
And Harry saying, you built these too well.
Yeah, it was like, really?
And then starts pounding
Really?
on the wall. Will you
Just
stop
for
that? So that was good. I mean, that joke was good.
Why wasn't the Reverse Flash? Why did he look like Harrison Wells? Just because they couldn't
Harry-
He is Harrison Wells. It's
Yeah.
the same Harrison Wells that Barry fought earlier on. I'm convinced of that.
He said that. He said that he's from Earth 1. He went to there
Yeah.
at some point. They haven't explained how he's not a paradox.
And that's just the face he picked.
But yeah,
to look like.
I talked to Kyle about this offline, and I'm putting my money on Flashpoint.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It gives it a reason. The Flashpoint allowed the Harrison Wells version of Reverse Flash to escape.
Especially since Flashpoint was such a dud, and I think they know that everybody thinks that, so I think they're looking for a reason.
I just don't
to
even
give
care.
it.
I love
Yeah.
Tom Cavanaugh.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
my
I mean, he's
favorite.
great.
He's
Yeah.
the best
Comic-
version of Reverse Flash.
Yes.
And as a comic book fan, my favorite part of the whole crossover is when Supergirl's threatening him with Superman, and him saying, your cousin's fast, but he's not that fast.
Yeah,
It's
that was
true.
a good
And talking about how he
sideways
fought him in the
reference.
future, and so it's like, I really want to see
Did you
that.
hang around for the post credits of Justice League?
Yes.
So you saw the Superman versus Flash race.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
Well, now I have to watch it.
Yes, you
Well, I
do.
mean, their
Yeah.
fight with Superman is the whole reason to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Actually,
Stop
Superman
making
is the whole
arguments.
reason to go watch Justice
Yes.
League.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
he's the most Superman-y.
It's the most
Yay.
Superman I've seen them do Superman. They
Superman.
finally got him right.
It's like a
Good.
kid named Manny.
And that actually may be something that was missing from this as a whole. They had a chance they could have brought Superman into it,
And they didn't.
and they didn't.
Yeah.
I
They
mean, I
probably-
wish
But
they
they've
had.
already took from the
They already
first
had a
crossover.
small
They took a giant leap
Oh, it-
in including
Yeah.
Supergirl and those characters. Even though was it really just her sister that had in this crossover?
It was just her sister.
Yeah, it was her and
Yeah.
her sister.
Well,
Although
that doubled the number of
Win
characters.
was in it, but it was Win from Earth X.
Right.
Yeah.
So they
And
did
he was
have
the
Win.
leader of the resistance.
And they did make a joke about how crappy Guardian is and how Guardian is perceived by having him show up right at the very beginning of the crossover when there's the attack on the military base and Dark Archer comes out, fights him.
Dark Arrow.
Dark Arrow.
It's a very important distinction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
comes out for about 4 seconds. I actually had to go back and rewatch it to realize that it was Guardian, and they just wiped him out like that. It's like a snap of the fingers. Yeah, this is a bad character. We accept it.
Well, I mean, Guardian, as in Guardian that's really Guardian from the comics / the cartoons, is not a bad character.
No, but
It
in
was
this
making
show it
Jimmy
is.
Olsen Guardian.
Yeah.
Yes, and the fact that the Guardian that we get in this is Earth X's Guardian,
Right.
which is also Jimmy Olsen.
But he's a little bit more BA, even
Yeah.
though he dies.
He almost
Spoiler.
instantly.
Yeah.
Almost instantly.
He was absolutely no contest for Evil Ollie.
And how about Prometheus's doppelganger on Earth X being Tommy Merlin?
Yes!
That was a
great.
beautiful story.
Well, and that was going back to, like, because everybody thought it'd be such a better twist for that season. That was them kind of, like, saying to the fans, okay, yeah, you're right.
You're right,
Yeah.
but we couldn't get him. He was busy
Yeah.
in Chicago.
Yeah.
But
And
it was
them
still
saying-
amazing.
Loved
It
it.
was so
It was
good.
like 3 cheers.
I mean, just the scene where Ollie's talking to him, like, his dead friend, like, there's so much, like, emotion in that one scene.
It gave so much more depth to all these characters.
Yeah, it
again.
did.
It gave you
Than
back some
all
of what's
of
been
the
missing.
Arrow season.
I love
This was
it.
the best we've seen of Arrow
Yeah.
this year.
Yep.
Was in this crossover.
Yep.
When he looked at himself and said, "I'm going to kill you," it was just a fantastic moment because you truly believed it. And actually, my wife had walked in, and she doesn't watch any of these shows, but I turned to her and she'd stopped to watch for those few seconds. I said, "Oh, he won't kill him."
Well, yeah, and, like, even just, like, with Barry and Ollie's, like, the scenes
I
with them
love
where
all their moments
where
together.
Barry's pretty
Yeah.
much, like, telling him, you know, like, stop being angsty about relationships. Like, you know, they make us better. We're like, yeah, you could always put it off or always worry about it, but...
The scene in the tuxedo shop was fantastic.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh
He
my
walks out of his tux and
gosh.
Barry
Yeah.
says, "Damn."
Because Barry's all puffed up, thinking he looks
And you
great,
saw,
and then Ollie
like-
just kind of casually strolls in.
Oh, that
was
was
totally
fantastic. I was dying from that.
I also enjoyed, I've repeated this several times, but there's a point at which they're all going to go confront the dark versions, and of course Flash gets there, Supergirl gets there, and then 2 minutes later, zzz.
Yeah, Arrow shows up on his motorcycle.
Yeah.
So just a reminder about super speed.
I'm not.
And he was very, very deadpan serious about it too.
Yeah.
I've been making,
Seriously, the best Oliver has been in a
Yeah.
long time.
Yep, I agree.
It just adds so much more when they're all together, and I feel like it makes them all up their game a little bit,
It does.
almost like they're in
Well, that
competition.
also reminds me nostalgically of those first episodes with Arrow and the Flash because they kind of lost a little bit of that along the way.
playfulness.
Yeah.
The more playfulness and the more helping each other out because they had that in the beginning, and like I said, that kind of dwindled away with the storylines. So that was really refreshing.
They also
Yeah.
referenced that joke. Have you seen the extended trailer for the back half of the season? There is a locker room, and they're all getting suited up. All of them. I mean, all 4 shows, they're all in this locker room suiting up. And then Supergirl and Flash turn up late and quickly throw on their clothes. And Flash says something to Ollie. He's like, "What? We've been here doing this for 20 minutes already." So they keep making that joke, but it works very well.
Yeah.
I love it. I love all those moments. There's another line of Oliver's which was funny because he has kryptonite arrows, and Supergirl Kara says, "Why do you have kryptonite arrows?" And he says, "In case an evil version of you shows up."
Duh!
That was very good.
Yeah.
Although I didn't feel like the arrow did enough harm to evil Supergirl.
Yeah.
It's like she recovered from it very, very quickly.
Well, she had some help.
Still and all, she did have it go deep into her chest.
It's true, but she was already dying.
But she also doesn't have the healing powers of, like, the Flash. When she gets hurt like that, it's not, like, heal like that.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's toxic. It takes a while.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of a fault, maybe, but nothing
Not
to
much,
nothing to
because
detract from
she
the joy of it.
exploded at the end of the crossover.
Yeah.
Fair. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
One of the huge things which kind of gets overlooked by a lot of people I've noticed is the obvious time traveler at Barry's wedding,
Yes.
the waitress.
Yeah.
Is that their daughter?
Well,
That's-
in comics gives a couple possibilities: daughter or granddaughter. But probably that's the fan consensus, and they have done stuff like that in the comics. So that's would be my guess is their daughter or granddaughter.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
definitely
Oh my gosh.
somebody in the family lineage
tell me
who
about
was
that
so
when you were
excited
watching?
and pleased
To
to
be
be
there.
there.
Do you
And it
remember
was
that girl when she tells him
it was such a quick moment, but in
Yeah.
any kind of TV or film, you don't show something like that, and
That's
this is a
not
reason
necessary.
to show something like
Yeah.
that.
I picked up on that she was probably somebody from the future.
Yeah,
I don't know who. I have no idea.
They'll reveal it at some point.
Yeah.
It'll come around.
could be one of the twins, right?
It was too significant of an exchange.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was just so excited. Mm-hmm. It was.
Well,
it
she was very Barry-esque.
She
She
was.
was
Yeah.
very esque. While having some resemblance to the Iris actress, just
Yeah.
saying.
No, they did a good job. Their
Yeah.
casting is very good.
Just saying.
I am.
There's just so much fun in this 4 hours.
There was a lot.
They
of
introduced
fun.
the Ray, which I don't
And
know.
Citizen Cold too. Like,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
Seeing Wentworth Miller back was
Yes.
a
For
real
his
pleasure.
final appearance.
Oh.
No, what?
He's going to be in the
Legends.
back half of Legends.
yeah,
He
he
is?
stayed to go with Nick. Remember?
I think he's staying
in the
to help
cliffhanger.
redeem Nick.
Oh.
I think
Well,
he's taken
all
it
I
onto
know is
himself.
that Wentworth
With the
Miller
puppet.
filmed his final episodes for the Arrowverse. That was in the media.
Yeah. But and at the end of Crisis on Earth X, he says, you know,
Maybe
to the
it's
Ray,
not
I'll come
true.
back for you, but I got to stay here for a bit. And then he stays for the
While
end.
at the same time, they are gonna. It's not been confirmed, but high rumors that Prison Break is going for another season. So, because Fox is really on its reboots right now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, one of them is going real well.
well, that one's going well. Not all of them are.
Truth is out there.
The truth is that that's for another podcast that we already do.
We're behind.
Come
I've
on!
not heard good things about that.
The X-Files?
Yeah.
This is not the room you want to bridge that in.
I was
and
gonna
we're talking
say-
about Crisis on
Yes,
Earth X.
but I have not heard.
Kylie was like, don't.
Don't even go there, Spencer. We
Don't
don't
poke
have
the
time.
bear.
This is true. We do not have the time.
Anything else you want to say about Crisis on Earth X?
So, can we... The Ray.
yes,
Help.
The Ray.
actual
gonna-
DC character.
Yeah, he's a
He's-
DC character.
That actor is going to be the voice of the Ray in.
In
In
Animated.
an animated. So
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
reason why they included him.
Yes.
I think so.
It
It's
was
the
just to
monster
launch
character,
the-
and
Yeah.
that's going to be on the CW's
There's Seed, isn't it?
C,
CWC.
Yeah.
CWC.
That's
like
where
the Vixen
Vixen is.
cartoon, yeah.
And the one that Constantine is.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I mean, DC's pretty proud of that character because he was one of the first openly gay comic book characters back when they first created him. He was always like that. It's not one that they tried to change later on.
Okay.
So I think they're also trying to show their diversity in their world.
He is played by the person that Captain
Also
Jack
Toby.
ends up with in
Alonzo.
Doctor Who.
Alonzo.
That's one being human.
I remember him from being human.
I liked Paul Blackthorne's Nazi character too.
Yeah, sort of an upper general for.
Yeah, an upper general who definitely felt like he should be positioned higher than he was.
Well, that's because he gave the general position to Evil Kara.
Yes,
She was called the general.
That's true.
And it showed more of his range. He's a really good actor.
He's an excellent
Yeah.
actor. I like him so much. We talk about that though.
Yeah.
Yay, Paul.
Which one is he again?
Quentin
Quentin.
Lance.
Lance.
Thank you. I don't
Or
really know.
formerly Harry Dresden.
Yes, that was a great show too. The Dresden Files.
We say that every time
Yes,
too.
every time he gets pulled up.
Hillary's like, stop.
Deja vu.
I just wish these two would. I don't know.
I
Pick up China
know.
Cat.
They- Hashtag
You have weird
romance.
fantasies, Hilary.
Yeah, you really do have weird fantasies. We're more likely to go to a Comic-Con than to like Bed Bath and Beyond. Sorry to break your fantasy.
Oh,
she's got her thinking face on.
Spicy.
I was going to say, you're just giving me more ammunition. Why don't you try?
There are just so many great moments between the main heroes and their doppelgangers too in this. The interactions between Kara and Evil Kara and Oliver and,
Yes.
and Dark Arrow.
Olive juice.
The funny thing was that there wasn't a doppelganger of Barry Allen.
I know.
Right,
I
yeah,
noticed
that was-
that.
They all had doppelgangers except for
If-
Barry.
I
Well,
wonder.
But is there a Barry on
Because
Earth
in-
3
in-
when
well,
you
in the
have Jay
comics-
Gordon and...
In the comics, Barry is universally good.
Oh.
Like, he never...
Yeah, that is true.
He's
It was
the
just
one
interesting
that they
to not
all
see
strive
him.
to
Yeah.
be. Like, Batman
Like-
wishes he could be as good as Barry.
And, like, even comic, like, where there's, like, the crime syndicate, the evil versions, usually the Flash version is, like, Johnny Quick or somebody else. It's not Barry Allen.
But it could have...
Because he's almost, like, he is who he is. Like, he's the Rock of almost every universe.
But you had the Ray and Citizen Cold from Earth X. They weren't evil. They were good.
Yeah.
So you could have had
Well, same thing with
an
Felicity.
Earth X.
Yeah, Felicity was a hero on
Yeah.
Earth X too.
Oh, yeah.
It was just interesting that they decided to not give him a doppelganger and go with Harrison Wells' Reverse Flash instead, which was great because we got Harrison Wells' Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
And Tom Cavanaugh really got a chance to
It was
play.
also very interesting
Yeah.
that Barry lets him go at the end.
yeah.
It is interesting.
Because
And that's going to come back.
That's gonna come
Which
back.
means we
I
will
think
see
they've
Harrison
set that
Wells,
up.
Tom Cavanaugh, Reverse Flash again.
Thank you
which
for doing that.
that well, that's been everybody's favourite villain so far.
Well,
Yeah,
and it's
as
sort of
long
the
as they
purpose of
explain
keeping
it.
him around, and it also, for me, it was like Barry's growth, that, like, he's let go of, he's gotten past his mom's murder, he's gotten so far past that he's in a much happier place, that he's confident enough in himself as a hero where he knows he can face anything that he throws
But
at him.
it was also an awakening for the Reverse Flash, realizing that Barry can actually beat him.
Yeah.
And instead of staying around to carry on fighting, he's like, yeah, fine, I'm out, dude.
Yeah, see ya.
No, I'm really happy that they've set that up. I just hope that they do take some time to explain it.
explain it
since
when it
they've
comes
killed him
back.
off so many times in so many ways. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Probably,
Don't
like
gloss
you
it
said,
over
it will
like
be
we've
some
done
kind of
others.
flashpoint, and they'll explain it in a sentence, but it'll be a
That's
sentence
my
that makes
prediction,
sense.
is that
Yeah.
they're going to try to redeem Flashpoint and also bring Reverse Flash back into the universe at the same time. That's my prediction. Look,
I would like it if he's waiting for Barry at or maybe you see Harrison Wells sitting in the back of the courtroom or something like that alludes to the fact that when he left Earth X, he's come back to Earth 1.
Sure, that'd be fun. I'd be all down for that. One thing we should talk about, which I told you to wait to talk about, was the death of Firestorm.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Spoiler!
That was sad.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
we all knew it was coming because we'd
Victor
heard that Victor
Garber.
Garber is leaving to go on
Yeah.
Broadway, etc.
I think I predicted. I'm like, I don't think that they're going to kill him. I think
I
I
had
actually
a
said
bad
that,
feeling.
and I'm like,
Yeah, because he
oh.
could. Because what I know about Victor Garber is he's doing theater right now, so
Yeah.
he could easily, with the way legends work, come
back.
So to kill him off seemed like
More
they didn't
funny.
have to do it.
Well, it also solved by killing them off. It also allowed them to get rid of Jax,
Yeah.
which Jax on his own wouldn't have worked.
Horrible.
It's like at that point he just
Yeah.
became. I did
Garbage.
like the jokes that they made where Victor had made
Oh,
a serum for Jax so he could
Martin.
still be a superhero. It's basically made him so he would stick to things.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even be as
Yeah.
cool as Spider-Man was the
Yeah.
reference. You could just stick to things.
There was a
Really
lot
well.
of Easter eggy references to Marvel stuff
There
throughout the
was.
course of
Yeah.
this, which I thought was pretty fun.
And it
And
wasn't,
cheeky.
but it wasn't derogatory towards
It
Marvel,
wasn't, no.
which I liked.
Completely
Everyone can
appreciative.
get along.
Everyone can get along. Let's see some.
It would have been
some,
very easy to
you know,
go the spiteful
reciprocation.
route and make fun of Marvel, but they did
No.
it the right way. And when they did put a Marvel Easter egg in there, it was complimentary, and I was good with that.
But no, they did die. And I think you're right. It was so they had to get rid of Jax. He wouldn't have stood on his own. He has no power. It's the nuclear matrix that they share, and that's the whole purpose of Firestorm. And I mean, without one actor, what are you going to do? But I would bet that Victor probably requested that he be killed off because he's an older man now, and I think he's just ready to.
Yeah, he had fun playing in the comic book universe, and now he's ready to move on to the next thing.
I think that's what's going on.
There's an aspect of the character that I wanted him to end up with his wife. I think that's part of why I didn't. Like, he kept saying he was going to go back to his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
And there was a beautiful moment where Jax went to tell the wife and daughter. It was the best acting I've seen from the Jax
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
throughout the whole series. Was when he goes back and he consoles, and it was like the prison or the army chaplain showing up at the door.
Yeah.
Plus, we had a whole fun Back to the Future playoff in the next episode where he tried to write him a letter, Marty
Yeah.
McFly style, and young Marty Stein was the Doc Brown character in that. No, I can't know too much about my own future.
He's a great Scott, that's for sure.
Great Scott!
Yeah, there's lots of really just great pop culture throughout Legends of Tomorrow, which the time travel aspect side of it is a lot of fun to see.
Did anyone notice that Earth X Gideon was a different voice?
No.
And it was voiced by Susanna Thompson, who played Moira Queen.
Oh, really? Fun.
Bazinga!
Easter egg. Good job,
They
Nick.
did
Yeah.
a great job of just shoving so many Easter eggs. And you could watch it 3 or 4 times and not pick up all of them.
I would like to watch it again just
I'm
to
gonna
try to
have
find
to.
the ones that I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know I missed a lot. And some of the
I
ones that I did pick up on, I picked up like 30 seconds later. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
definitely went back and rewound a couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much cool stuff crammed into so few minutes. It's amazing. Like, I never thought I'd see a really cool version of Metallo.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
yeah,
good.
Metallo was
That
Like,
was
he wasn't
Metallo.
in any of the advertisements. It was like, okay, I know Nazi versions, and then full-blown Metallo comes out.
John
Convincing and not at all like bad CGI.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. For TV, it was.
They threw money at it.
Yeah, they did.
Thankfully.
This was the best 4 episodes,
I just like
probably of the entire...
To date, yeah.
universe
Of all
today.
the shows.
Of all the shows.
Yep.
I agree.
I
Just
give
because
that.
they all played off each other so well, also.
None of the characters were really annoying either.
No.
None.
Like even Cars Alex and hooking up with Sarah. That
On
was
the rebound.
it
That was
funny.
so funny. When
So
she,
funny.
They had more chemistry and more interesting interactions than she ever did with Maggie.
yeah,
Yes.
when she fell out of bed,
Well,
and then
then,
later on she says, "How's your ass?"
I just
Yeah.
want to
Yes.
note that Sarah confirmed she was bisexual in this crossover too,
Yeah.
because she actually said that to the concentration. Well, that was a question for a while. Is she
Oh,
gay or is
I
she
always
bi?
thought that she was
She was
bisexual.
bisexual, but then they keep
And they must have put that in for a reason as well.
they keep
Yeah.
pairing up with females, but yeah, I mean, even their choreographed fight scene with each other in the chapel,
It worked so good.
really
Worked
well.
So good.
The fight scenes in this were all done very, very,
Very
well.
well.
Especially
Yeah.
the big one in the warehouse with the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
When
I
it looks
love
like
that
Team
one.
Arrow was winning, or Team DC was winning, and then suddenly the big bads show up and it turns very quickly.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was paced well, directed well, acted well, written well. There's just so much. I mean,
There's so
clear
much good
DC
stuff.
passion going on in that, and it just made my little nerd heart sing.
Mine too. Well, I think within the first 5 minutes of the first one, I'd already started hitting up the chat group. You know, this is
That's
amazing. Get on here.
And I was the last one to watch it, and I was like, "No, don't talk about
She
it."
got
Everybody's
some
like, "I hate you."
Yeah.
Yeah, she got some jazz at the last recording.
But then, and then I watched it, and then I was like, "Okay, you can talk about it." I give it an A+.
It was everything I wanted and more.
Yes.
Yeah, and everything
Yes.
you didn't know you wanted.
Yeah, there were things that they did that just
You
wow.
kind of went in with low expectations, I'm thinking, because of what we had seen in the past.
Well, and
So
they,
it just-
they had hyped it up so much too that you're like, oh.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
don't
Not
screw
sure.
yourself over.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're trying to cram 4 casts into one show. It didn't work
Yeah.
well last time, but this time
It worked.
Holy
they learned
smokes.
from their mistakes.
5 stars.
Except for
Except for the double wedding.
That is true. The double wedding at the end just
'Cause
seemed like
Barry
such
and
a
Iris-
terrible afterthought.
Barry
Yeah.
and Iris, tear.
Honestly, if
Yeah.
they had just kept it Barry and Iris, it would have been very sweet.
Yes,
It would have been a perfect
It would have been perfect ending.
way to
With
stop.
Oliver and Felicity as witnesses, John, I would have been so happy with that.
And Oliver and Felicity having like a proposal where
A
Yeah.
proposal.
instead of the
That would have
reception,
been fine.
Like
open
the
up with their wedding.
full-blown, okay, we're just gonna jump on their bandwagon.
It was awfully nice of Diggle to marry them since they didn't invite him to their
Yeah.
first wedding.
Yeah.
I thought
I
Diggle
mean,
throwing
that's
up
the
was
least he could
hilarious.
do after he changed the gender of his baby.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he knows that.
Yeah, he does.
I thought him throwing up though.
all in
The
the
way that
past
Barry
time.
goes and gets him, doesn't even tell him, doesn't get there,
No.
stop, say, "Hey, I need you to marry us," and then take
He literally
just boom, comes back.
comes
You got to
back.
warn a guy before you do that.
We've already said Flashpoint failure.
Yeah.
Boo. So maybe Reverse Flash is the happy byproduct wearing Harrison Wells' face, but also being alive. Anything else you want to say about Crisis on Earth X? Good, bad, excellent, ugly?
Watch it.
All of the terminations of the battles between Kara and Ollie and Dark Arrow and Flash and Reverse Flash were all very well handled.
Yes.
The simplicity in which Oliver got to kill Oliver, for example, was just perfect. It was so matter-of-fact, done, moving on. And then the side effects to Kara and I'm wondering whether that's going to play into the story in Supergirl, that she actually took a hit from getting rid of her doppelganger, so she was weakened when she first faced Rain.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't really address that.
No, I mean, that was...
Is she
was
connected to her?
connected to who? No, well, she
The
was...
doppelganger.
Wasn't she knocked unconscious when...
Yeah, and she fell.
She
Yeah.
fell all the way back to
Because-
Earth from her doppelganger exploding when she shot up into space.
Well, right, but I just figured that happened because she went Nova, a Kryptonian went Nova in space, and I gotta figure like kryptonite.
But I'm wondering whether that weakened Kara, and that will be part of the explanation
Oh,
of
I
how
see what
Rain
you're saying.
beat her so very easily. Because Rain really beat her very easily.
Yes.
True.
And she spent so much time, drugged up, and
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
weakened
she was
greatly
weakened
in the
for
Earth
most
X.
of for most of this, and then immediately, as soon as she gets back to her Earth, had to fight Rain.
So I'm wondering whether that'll play in and it, not just be a standalone story, but it will carry on in the arcs in the 4 separate shows.
I think that it will. I mean, I think the seed of Firestorm played out And that's going to be a ramification that the Legends have to deal with
Yep.
throughout the rest of the season. I don't really know where Arrow left. I think it's just the weddings for those two.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, the weddings.
Yeah, but I do think there is going to be some play out of that, and hopefully what I would love to see or love for the shows to try to do is to integrate more than one crossover a season. It doesn't have to be like more than one big one, and they did the musical episode, which I just want to also give a little bit of a mention to the fact that Barry asked Kara to sing the song that he sang to Iris in the musical episode, which I know you were all mad about, but I liked it, and said that Kara singing was her non-human super or
non-super
alien
yeah,
superpower.
non-alien superpower. Yeah,
Yes,
that was a fun
sweet.
moment. It was a sweet moment. The wedding itself was actually
very sweet.
sweetly handled, and I did like the way that the villains turned up in the middle of it.
I did too.
It was a nice derailment.
It was very well choreographed. What was I going to say before I said that, though?
Doing more than one crossover
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah, doing more, not a musical episode.
I'd like to see a
but-
lot more of Barry and Ollie together
Yeah.
because
I
their
would too.
chemistry
Go back
is
to
so
the
good.
go back to the roots a little bit.
Or the Legends. I mean, if the Legends are going throughout time, it just seems really improbable that they wouldn't show up at
Yeah.
some point, somewhere.
A couple of them at least.
Well, they did that the first season. Didn't
They
we
did.
see really old Ollie? He was missing an arm. Or,
Yeah, they ended up in the future Star City.
I feel like they can do that more.
Yeah,
Yeah, they could.
for
Especially
some
with the
reason, I
Atom.
think that the villain that had beaten Ollie to the point where he'd lost his arm was actually Slade Wilson's son.
It was.
Yeah.
So that was a callback to that
Yeah.
in this season.
I think they're kind of, setting that up a little bit.
So have they not announced another crossover for the back half, since there's more episodes in the back half of these seasons?
I don't think we'll see another crossover as far as on.
Like an event.
Of that
An
big
event.
scale, yeah.
Yeah,
I think they try to limit that to one a season.
And they usually try to put it before the mid-season break at some point.
It's going to be very hard to top this one.
Yeah.
I
It's going to
agree.
be very, very hard to top
They've
this
really
one.
raised the bar.
Yeah.
Now I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think they know that, though, too.
It was just so good. I was either laughing or on the edge of my seat excited. Everything that a TV show should be. Especially a superhero TV show.
Yeah, if
And
you're
even
into
better than movies sometimes.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
if you're into superhero related things, comic book related things, or just action related things, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it.
And you don't need to have seen any of
No.
the seasons leading into it
No.
or anything. You can watch these
I mean,
four
really,
as
if you are a
standalone
comic
on
book
their
nerd,
own
you should
Yeah.
have already watched it.
and just love it.
Hilary says judging me.
Yep,
Yeah.
judging you.
Don't watch it separately. Watch it part of the season.
Just watch it.
Just watch it. It's great. I don't think any of us can recommend it more highly.
No.
aside
Like
from
really
the
talking
wedding
about
moment.
it just made me want to go home and
Yeah, rewatch it.
And just stop it with about 20 seconds to go and you'll be gone.
Yeah, you'll be good.
You'll give it that extra star that you dropped for that 20 seconds.
I would.
Full.
I would.
Mine was only 0.25.
Yeah. I hated it that much. I'm like, I loved everything, and then I'm like, really? That's how you end it?
I mean, I was
Yeah.
disappointed in that, but I was perfectly prepared to forgive it. It certainly wasn't worth losing a whole star.
Yikes.
I'm picky.
That's very kind of you. Anything else you want to say, good, bad, beautiful, or ugly, about Crisis on Earth X, the mega Arrowverse crossover?
Even King Shark was in it.
That's what
That's
you
so
wanted to
true.
say?
That's a big takeaway.
No, they made so many references.
but
We're
the
going to
fact-
end on
Yeah.
King Shark.
But no,
No.
but he makes a good point. Even the fact that they were able to do that and still make it amazing says something.
Yeah.
And Rod was in it as well, wasn't he?
No.
No.
No, they didn't have any reference.
They spent the money on King Shark for this one.
Which was a guy in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Yeah, Grad was in the episode before the
That's
Crisis
right.
crossover. Okay.
Nick's thinking of something. I know it.
He already said King Shark
Yeah,
was
I
in
Quick,
it.
jump in with the conclusion before he starts.
Sounds good. CPU is produced by Backpacker Productions, run by yours truly, the Chief Couch Potato, and hails from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Please, if you like what you hear, take the time to rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play. Give us stars, reviews, comments. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Sometimes we do bonuses. If you have suggestions on shows we might consider, contact us at our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, by email at couchpotatoesunite ThursdayNightPodcast@gmail.com or via Facebook, Twitter, and our social media. We add new and old shows to chat about around the water cooler all the time, though, as I mentioned in our introduction. As always, we have several more new episodes coming down the pike. We're available, we're searchable, we're everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to any of our channels, our blog, or social media. Stay up on new events and episodes. The DCTU is in season on the CW. Supergirl airs on Mondays, Flash and Legends on Tuesdays, Arrow on Thursdays. You can catch up on past seasons on Netflix and the most recent 5 aired episodes of the current season on the CW app. And in fact, the CW has done you a solid, as they've mentioned earlier, by making Crisis on Earth X its own little 4-episode consecutive streamy thing. So if you just want to watch Crisis on Earth X, go to the CW app. The next time our DCTU panel reconvenes will be at the end of season. We'll go back to 1 episode per show. We'll be talking about each season in turn and how we feel about them. Until the next time we meet, each new episode published Wednesday. Keep listening, keep watching, stay tuned.
Goodbye.
King Shark.
King Shark.